This is the Janine answer to the questions. Since this person didn't want to join Google Hangouts, which probably wouldn't have made much of a difference. You know, it's complicated. She has more of a spiritual view. I'm going to tell you that ahead of time. I have to break this in two parts. It's 20 minutes, 3 seconds. And this actually shows you that someone else's perspective about what's going on with me. And when you see, probably after about 2 days after I upload this one, you'll see my final video for 2015, my top martial artist challenge video. Unless I decide to do a Christmas special or something, or New Year's special, so probably won't. New Year's Eve special. This shows you that, you know, this, when you couple this with the other 30 plus interviews I have in my interview playlist about gang stalking, government harassment, organized stalking, cause stalking, what have you. This proves my point. Okay, I have over 5 people saying that they know very well that I'm being covertly drugged based on what I've been saying. And listen to what she's got to say. Keep in mind that, you know, this is her perspective, you know, her spiritual perspective.
Hello everyone, my name is Janine, and I'm coming to you today with a video on organized harassment. Today's video is an interview question and answer video for James Jackson's YouTube channel. He is a fellow chosen individual targeted by organized harassment. I will place a link to his channel in the description bar so that you can check out his channel at your convenience. Okay, James has asked me a series of 5 questions, and the first question James has asked me is, what do I think of psychiatry? In my honest opinion, I believe that a lot of people kind of interchange psychiatry and psychology. I think a lot of people don't. Some people may not know the difference between psychology and psychiatry. The difference between psychology and psychiatry is that the psychiatrist is a medical doctor who has gone a little bit further in his education and is able to prescribe medication, whereas the psychologist is not able to prescribe medications. And they're more focused, the psychologist is more focused on the behavioral aspects of mental health rather than the medicating and treatment of. They focus more with the behavior. So as far as psychiatry, in my opinion on what do I think about it, I believe that psychiatry is an extreme resort in mental health. I believe that it should be a last, very, very, very last resort to be prescribing people medications for an organ in which the doctor themselves do not completely have the science down to a T about this organ. So me, in my personal opinion, I believe that psychiatry is an extreme measure in mental health, and that psychology and sociology are more suitable for dealing with and understanding the behaviors of people. The next question that James asked me was, what do I think of gang stalking or organized harassment? My opinion, and I think this is unanimous across the board for many people, gang stalking, this organized harassment, whether it's coming from, you know, government officials, whether it's coming from your neighbors, family members, when you're on the receiving end of this is an evil program. It is evil from the lowest levels of hell. This program, it infringes on your natural birthrights. I mean, when you're born into this world, you're born into this world as an individual. Even if you were born, you know, as a, a set of, multiples, like if you were born, of twins or triplets or quadruplets, whatever the case may be, sextuplets, at the end of the day, you are an individual. You are unique in your own right. And this particular program, it takes those rights away from you. We know that this program has caused people to commit suicide. We know that this program has caused people to go out and do shootings, commit homicide. So this particular program has ruined lives. It is killing people, killing people slowly. Just because you may not die a physical death, this is killing people on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level every single day. And I can attest to this because I myself, am attacked by this. It affects me. It affects my young children. And anybody who tries to be a part of your life, if you've had people in your life, that have been removed from your life, one way or another. Either they, walked out of your life, they ran out of your life, or either they've been, murdered, killed out of your life. I have experienced that personally, where I've had people in my family, very close to me, two individuals in particular, my father and my children's father, which I believe they were targeted and victims of this program as well. So this program, it kills people, it ruins lives. Another thing that I think this program, the reason why it is established, I believe this program has a lot to do with DNA. I think that the people who have been targeted, the chosen individuals that have been targeted, there is some, because the thing is, no one comes and robs an empty house. So there is something within you that poses as either a threat or an asset. So I believe this program is set up and established by these lower level beings to either conquer and take over something that you have, these natural gifts and abilities, God-given abilities and gifts that you have, gifts of intellect, gifts of creativity, gifts of physical endurance and physical abilities. And, the only way that they can do that is by, eliminating your personal powers. This goes back to what I was saying, that, your natural birthrights. You're born unique, and you were born special in your own way, your natural God-given rights, your natural God-given abilities. This program is established to go and destroy those, to either steal them or destroy them. The third question James asked me is, what do I think of covert drugging? I believe that, this is a very dangerous situation, because as we know, how someone's body reacts to any type of drug, that goes for food, drugs, anything that you consume, you ingest, you take in your body, there is always that risk of having some type of reaction, whether it be an adverse reaction or death from something that you've consumed. There are people who have taken over-the-counter medications, and their body has actually shut down from it. Their body has actually rejected it. Their body has had an adverse reaction to it. So when you are being given these drugs, either in a manner that is blatantly writing out a prescription for a drug in which they don't know how your body or your brain will react to it, or they're giving it to you in a hidden fashion. You're being drugged against your will, your food being drugged, your the air that you breathe being drugged. That is dangerous, and it's morally wrong.
Real quick, I would say RT reported psych meds, and the reason I have to move this video camera around so much, I apologize, is because when I keep it still, you see those little blurry things on the screen. So I'm going to keep it still for the rest of the video, because I think that moving around is just as annoying as those blurry things. Anyway.
Because people are dying from medications. People are dying, at the hands of pharmaceutical companies on a regular basis. And in my honest opinion, I think that the drugging is all about supply and demand, because when you're getting a prescription and you go and you get your prescription filled out, you know what you're picking up, supposedly. You know what you're picking up from the pharmacy. But when you're being drugged, covertly, you don't really know what you're ingesting. You don't know what you're breathing in. You don't know what you're tasting and smelling, and what your skin, one of your largest organs, the largest organ you have is your skin. So you don't know what you are absorbing on a daily basis. And in my humble opinion, I believe that, the drugging aspect of this program is done for supply and demand, because if you're being drugged and you have some sort of reaction to it, where you fall into depression, or you fall into aggression, or you fall into anxiousness, you're anxious because of the reaction of these drugs that you're being given. Therefore, they are creating a problem. The little minions behind this program who are operating this beast, drugging people, if they create the problem, then they can try to sell you the solution. So the problem is the mental disorders that they create by the drugging. Okay? Then they turn around and sell you the solution because you need to be prescribed medication to so-called treat your symptoms. And therefore your insurance company is making money off of it. The doctors are making money off of it. The pharmacology, the big pharma companies who are making the drugs, they're making money off of it. And in the long run, you suffer. Okay, you suffer financially because you're spending a lot of money every single month with your co-pays, getting your prescriptions refilled. And when you go to your doctor visits, you're paying your co-pays there because in order for your doctor to see you, he has to get some money, up front as well as behind the scenes when he bills your insurance company. So I think it's, like I said, in my humble opinion, I believe it's a supply and demand situation. So if you can keep the people drugged, you can create these illnesses for them, you can continue to make money. And that's the mindset that I believe is behind this program. Is a supply and demand. Drug people, keep them coming back, with these conditions, keep them coming back so you can treat other symptoms that are being caused by these drugs that they are prescribing and that they are giving to us, without our knowledge. The fourth question was, what do I think of the misuse of government technology and it being used on political dissidents? I'm going to give my opinion on our country, the country that James and I are in, which is the United States of America. Like I said earlier in my video, I believe that this program is from the lowest, it's evil, and it's from the lowest levels of hell. And it is slowly but surely boxing people into conformity. I believe that it is wrong, especially in a country that prides itself on its liberties and freedoms. That's the illusion that people believe. When you're told about America or they see America, they think we have all these freedoms and liberties, when in actuality we don't. I believe that it's wrong to punish someone with electronic technology, electronic weapons. I believe it's wrong to punish them, in any form for their political beliefs, especially in a country like the United States, in which we, the people, we vote. We, the people, vote in our laws. We vote in our elected officials. It's set up that way so that we can have an opinion, we can have a viewpoint, we can have a choice. And I think it's absolutely wrong, especially in a country like ours who prides itself on its freedoms and liberties, to do its citizens like that. I probably won't go too much more into detail about that because, like I said, I can't specifically say for a fact that I have been targeted with electronic weapons, but I'm not going to say definitively that I have not, because as we all know, as targeted individuals, you don't really realize that you're a targeted individual until you're neck deep up in the program. So I wouldn't say one way or the other that I am or am not being targeted with electronic weapons. But back to the question, what do I feel about the misuse of it? I think that these weapons need to come out of the hands of these officials. I think these weapons need to come out of the hands of these little minion citizens that they have placed these weapons into the hands of. And people need to be granted back their rights, their liberties, and their freedoms to be able to have.
All right, so I'm going to continue this in part 2 because 15 minutes at a time is what YouTube limits me to on my phone uploads. And I'm going to pull it side to side. I'm used to holding up and down. I apologize.
An opinion. And again, this, kind of plays off of, the base of this interview was about, basically, organized harassment, in psychology, psychiatry, and what I think, about it. And when your opinions, when they start controlling your mind, it's all about your mind. When your opinions, what you think about your political officials, your own mind, what you have observed about them, your own country, what you've observed about the operations of your own country. When you can't have an opinion on that, when you have formed an opinion based off the things that you have witnessed with your very own eyes, and you are told that you can't have that opinion, or you are electronically punished for having that opinion, I find that to be evil and vile, on so many levels. So that's my opinion on what I think about the weapons. Now, for our fifth and final question, I was asked, why do I think people do not believe? And there are several reasons why I feel people do not believe, and I'm going to name them off. One is either they are aware and they are active participants in this program and in your harassment and in your stalking. So when they say they don't believe you, or they come off as they don't believe you, that is a form of what we call gaslighting, gassing you up, basically, making you believe that no, there's no way that can happen, or, discrediting what you are actually experiencing through gaslighting. So by making you think that they don't believe you, although they are very aware of what's actually happening to you, I believe that people who say that they don't believe, they're either active participants and they're very aware of what's going on, you're just being gaslighted. Another reason I think people don't believe is that they're just oblivious to any reality. It wouldn't matter if you told them, look, the world is ending right before your very eyes. They would be too busy with their handheld devices in their hand, keeping up with the latest tweet on the latest celebrity, or they'd be having their eyes glued to the television, watching, swallowing and chewing up this false garbage, this false media, this false reality of what's going on. So I think, people are just oblivious. They're oblivious to any type of reality, whether it be yours and mine, or the reality of the world in general, as a collective whole. And then my third thought on that is I believe that people just don't know how to believe. I think there's some people out there that have such an innocent and pure childlike heart that they don't think that our governments could be behind something like this. They don't think that our fellow citizens could be behind something like this, a program that is so vicious, a program that is so evil, and a program that is so vile. They just don't know how to believe it. So basically, to sum it up, what do I think as to why people don't believe? It's either they're active participants. Two, they are just oblivious. They are too consumed by the false reality that is being shoved down our throats every day in the media and the TV, the news, in our music, etc. They're oblivious to real reality. And my final thought on that is that people just don't know how, unfortunately, and that's a sad thing too, that they don't know how. People have put so much trust into the authorities. People have put so much trust into mankind that they believe, that there's no way possible, despite all the, the evidence, they just don't believe it's possible that such evil could exist, and that such evil could be done to an individual. And, a lot of people, sometimes it takes, real seeing to be believers. A lot of people won't believe this, because this program's only going to get bigger. There's only going to become more members. We know that. as chosen individuals, we know that this program on a daily, look how many videos are popping up, look how many blogs are popping up of targeted individuals on a regular. It's every day, there's someone posting a video. Some of these people are real and some of these people are not. But a lot of people are now starting to come forward. They're gaining the confidence to come forward about this. But, back to the point, is sometimes seeing is believing, and a lot of people will not really believe that this is actually taking place until it begins to take place in their lives. So that was the final question. So again, I encourage you to take a look at James's channel, take a look at his videos. I encourage you to connect with other targeted individuals and to, share their videos, on other social media networks. Share their videos on your YouTube channel, share their videos on your Facebook, share our videos so that we can raise awareness and we can get the word out about what is taking place in our countries, in our governments, in our communities, and in our lives. Time is of the essence, people, so we have to join forces. We have to band together and be strong. And like I said, raise awareness. We need to lift the veil on these illusions, lift the veil on these covert operations. Anyways, I hope you are all doing well. I'd like to thank James for allowing me the opportunity to do this interview. And if you have any questions, you can feel...
It cuts off there, that was me. I'd like to thank you for doing the interview. And yes, I pretty much agree with all she has to say. I kind of took a break, so I don't have it all fresh in my mind. Big break between the parts, but yeah, there you go. I don't want to make this thing longer than it has to be. Thank you.